Hey everybody, Tekking here. Due to circumstances beyond our control, there will not be a review today. Yeah, so that's just how that goes. No, seriously, it was just, one of those days where just a shit ton of stuff goes wrong. There was a problem with my camera, my fucking tripod broke, I had to go buy a new one. Some other shit occurred where it's just like, okay, I'm just gonna wait until tomorrow, but this is a really fucking big chapter, and when my review does come out tomorrow, I had fun with this. I had fun with it. The intro is gonna be cool and everything. But this is a chapter where a lot of stuff happens, and it's the prime example of one of those things where Oda will show something within a few panels or within a few pages, and then the rest of the chapter will be about something else. But that one thing that he showed at the beginning that only lasted a few panels, that merits like a discussion in and of itself. You know what I'm saying? So instead of doing a review and possibly not being able to express everything I wanted to say, I figured I'm going to do a discussion video about that right now. And it is, of course, about Mother Caramel. Okay, so at the beginning of this chapter, we get a little bit of backstory on Mother Caramel back when she first became well known to the world, when she became famous. And by the way, this flashback that we have here, going back 63 years ago to Elbaf, that's the time when Mother Caramel is already 80 years old. We jump back even further than that, 37 years. So we're talking like, yeah, we're talking like around 100 years in the past here. Right around the time Broggy and Dory have their beginning their duel on Little Garden, and so they started their duel, but obviously the giant warrior pirates are still around. They just don't have their captains, so they began to fall apart and they began to get a little sloppy, and they got captured by the Marines, and they were all about to be killed. And then that's when Mother Caramel shows up, you know. And by the way, she's 42. Yeah, 42 or 43. I think she's 43. Yeah, she's 43 years old in this image. So, MILF, am I right? I mean, get it? Because she's Mother Caramel. You get it? But okay, whatever. Anyway, she shows up at the gallows right when the giant warrior pirates are about to be executed. And she's like, "The heavens cry out for peace. You must stop." And all of the Marines are like, "What the fuck are you talking about, lady? These are pirates. These are giant pirates. These are like the worst kind of pirates." Now, the great age of piracy has not began yet, so it's not like, you know, I feel like ever since the whole deal with Roger, the Marines have way more of a real hatred for piracy, but this was still pretty bad. Right around the time that she's trying to make her cries to, you know, spare them, you have an incident with the weather. And that's always a great thing in the weather in One Piece, where the fucking skies begin to darken, and it seems like it begins to rain, there's a storm that begins brewing, and it seems like straight out of something that you would see in Logtown. Remember what happened with Luffy? Fucking a ray of life shines down, and it's like, "Oh, forgive them for their sins, and I will lead them into the paths of righteousness," and all that bullshit. Okay, now look, if this was like a fucking, you know, if this actually happened in real life, where it's like, "Please don't execute these prisoners," and then the sunbeam comes down, you could look at it like, "Oh, it's symbolic of something or some bullshit." But no, this is One Piece we're talking about here. To make this big of a point about something, you're essentially saying, yeah, this woman, she has the ability to change the fucking weather. So I'm just gonna throw it out there right now. I'm not going to build up to it. And like, here's what I'm really getting to. Now, this is my theory. Mother Caramel has the devil fruit that Dragon has right now. Mother Caramel passes away, probably shortly after this backstory. Even maybe in the process of when this backstory, this flashback, Mother Caramel will be dead, or she'll go somewhere. And that devil fruit will, of course, be reincarnated. Dragon will consume it. I also believe Mother Caramel, probably a holder of the Will of D. Now, this already kind of punches a big hole in my whole Jewelry Bonnie is Caramel thing. You know, I kind of was expecting that to fall apart. I mean, you have to cover your bases with One Piece. You never really know where it's going to go. You win some, you lose some. But, yeah, I'm fairly certain that this isn't going to be the case with the Mother Caramel Jewelry Bonnie thing. You know, it's just her younger form here, you know, it doesn't look quite like hers. The hair's a little bit different. You know, of course, she smokes, which, Okay, yeah. So I'm not going to go with that route with it, but I am going to go with the maybe something that makes a little bit more sense, because this is the scene where she, like, the weather begins to gather, and like that seems very similar to the stuff that we've seen with Dragon. Like, this happened with Dragon like twice. It happened at Logtown when Luffy's about to be executed, then all of a sudden a fucking storm brews up out of nowhere, and then lightning strikes Buggy, and then Luffy is freed. And then it happens later on, actually, later on in the actual, story as you're reading it, but earlier in terms of the timeline, it happened back during the flashback with Luffy and Sabo and Ace, and, during the Grey Terminal in the Goa Kingdom, when the Grey Terminal is burning down, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's like a fucking storm, and a big, huge thing of wind blows a hole so people can escape out of, like, it separates the fire so people can escape. And that's how Dragon arrives. So Dragon is something that I really should start maybe breaking my rule about not doing discussion videos until I'm done with the Straw Hat discussion video. By the way, the Chopper video is coming, because there's a lot of characters that need to be discussed. Like, I'm breaking the rule. We're doing the Dragon discussion video right now. But there's a lot of debate whether or not Dragon's Fruit is an ability that controls wind, just specifically wind, or if it's an ability that actually controls the weather. Hey, you know what? Considering Dragon is the world's most wanted man, considering he is somebody that probably has the highest bounty in the series, or one of the highest, because remember, keep in mind, when they're going over back during Reverie, during Dalton's flashback, and they're learning about, we're finding out about Vivi's past, but they also have that, that handoff reference about Dragon. They're not worried about the Yonko, they're worried about Dragon. And then even now, in the context of One Piece, most wanted man in the world, that's a loaded fucking statement, you know what I mean? There's fucking Yonko, there's Blackbeard running around, and Dragon is the most wanted man in the sea. So, I would say he would have to have an ability that is worthy of that title, not just his tactical knowledge, not just his ability to rally people together against the world government, which, of course, the world government would, of course, be more afraid of an actual group of revolutionaries whose sole mission is to overthrow the world government, as opposed to just a bunch of pirates that are doing their own thing. The revolutionaries' goal is a little bit more focused, but you would still have to have some ability, some power, some force, that really, you pay it has the skills to pay the bills, basically, kind of deal. Like, oh shit, at the end of the day, Dragon has this really scary ability. And I feel like that's the same thing we've seen with Mother Caramel here. And she could have been somebody that, like, and of course, their ideologies maybe follow a little bit there. How Mother Caramel was trying to, like, help the world and stuff like that. And Dragon is also trying to help the world just in his own way, realizing that the world government is kind of dangerous. Well, not kind of. The world government is fucking dangerous. So that's my theory there. Her connection to the Will of D. Given her character so far from what we've seen, the way she's acted, I could see her having the title of D very easily. The image that we see her in, the picture, and most of the times that we see her in this flashback, she is smiling, so of course all the members of Will of D, they die and they smile as they die. Here's the thing though, there is the only thing that's kind of weird, in that this did happen, she's most likely dead. It's just that whenever Big Mom is talking about Mother Caramel, she's like, oh, she disappeared one day and we never saw her again. But I would going to assume that she's probably dead now. Oda has come out and stated that the natural life expectancy for humans in One Piece, that's a little bit longer than than humans in our world. Like, 80 years old in our world, that's about nearing the end of your normal lifespan. That's on average how you normally live. You're about ready to kick the bucket. But it's about 140 years is like the standard, life expectancy for humans. And if you're superhuman, if you have abilities beyond other people like Dr. Kureha, you can live even longer than that. Giants are on record living at around 300 years, sometimes even longer, as the case with the two characters we saw in the recent chapter, those two older giants, the Mount Beard and Waterfall Beard, guys, which I'll reference in the review. So it's possible she could have lived for a little bit longer and had some adventures after the events of this chapter, but I find it way more likely that Mother Caramel did something to try to, satiate Big Mom's hunger pains when she was really young. Mother Caramel dies in that process, and by the time Big Mom comes to her senses and realizes oh, I don't, where's Mother Caramel? She left. Where did she go? When in reality, she died to save Elbaf, to prevent Big Mom from killing everybody. I think that would make more sense rather than she's just disappeared. But she's most likely dead right now in the context of the story. Like I said, this flashback is going back not the furthest we've ever seen in One Piece. I think the only other time we've seen a flashback further back than these two, the one from 63 years ago and around 100 years ago, is the one with the Shandora, the one with Noland and Colver back during Skypiea. That was 400 years back. But this one is still pretty far back as well. So I don't think there's still, but Mother Caramel's still around or anything like that. But what do you guys think about that theory? I think that syncs up rather well with her ability to control the weather, unless you want to go the next route with it where it's like she has like literally God and divine protection. But the thing about that and talking about gods and things in One Piece is that I don't know if Oda's even really gonna go there. Like, he kind of already went there with Eneru. He kind of already referenced, oh yes, there is a god, but it turns out it's fucking Eneru. Eneru's not a real god, okay? He took the title of god, and he played around with all those, like, references to Christianity and other forms of theology and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is, I don't know if Oda's actually gonna go the route with it where there's, like, a legitimate deity in One Piece that is an interventionist god that has absolute omnipotent power and changes shit. I don't know if Oda's gonna go that way with it. I think it's far more likely from what we've seen that, yeah, Mother Caramel had a great power that she utilized, and it's the same ability that Dragon has in the present storyline. I think that makes more sense, so that's what I'm gonna stick with. So what do you guys think? Comment below, all that good shit. And we, of course, sorry about the delay in the review. I'll be doing that tomorrow. Probably gonna do a Nuzlocke episode tonight, maybe a little bit. Well, it's already kind of late. I don't know what I'm gonna do tonight, but we'll see. Just keep an eye out for that. But I'm gonna go upload this now. This will be Tekking101 signing out. Have a good night, guys. And yeah, I know my eye. People mention that. I know because people are going to bring it up like, oh shit, Tekking, your eye's red. It looks a lot worse on here than it really is. I don't know what the fuck it is. There's something that's... My eye's been red in this one part of it for like a few days. And I've been using eye drops and shit. And I don't know what the fuck the problem is. So I should probably go to the doctor if that persists. But now I'm gonna get a bunch of shit. Now I shouldn't have mentioned that, because now I'm gonna get a bunch of people in the comments that are gonna be like, oh shit, Tekking, you might want to go to the doctor, you're gonna lose that eye if you don't. It's fine, it doesn't hurt, it's cool. Eye drops help it a little bit. I don't know what's up with it. Maybe it's just allergies, I don't fucking know. Alright, have a good one, guys. Thanks for watching. This will be Tekking101 signing out. Later.